Good day everyone. Today let us revise inverse trigonometric functions for your term 1 board exam. Before going into the revision, first you should recapitulate certain formulae and concepts which you have learnt in your 10th standard and 11th standard. Let me tell you what are all the important things you have to revise. First, you should know thoroughly the trigonometric values of 0 degree, 30, 45, 60, 90 and 180 for all the 6 trigonometric ratios. Actually, if you know for sine and cos, that's enough. You can derive the rest easily. Don't be always drawing that column, that columnar form and then write the values. Second, you should know which quadrant, which trigonometric ratio is positive and in which quadrants it is negative. That's very important. You should know the relation between radians and degrees. That is, pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. So this conversion will help you to tackle certain MCQ sums. You should be very thorough in the tabular column, giving you the domain and range of all 6 inverse trigonometric functions. That's very important. All the trigonometric formulae in 11th which you studied, like sine 2 theta, cos 2 theta, tan 2 theta, sine of a plus b, cos of a plus b, tan of a plus b, etc. Definitely you should know to solve the simplify problems which will come in ITF as well as in differentiation. Then in 12th ITF chapter 2, they have given many formulae, clubbing 3 formulae together. While you read that formula, there is some condition given along with that formula. Read that also. For example, sine inverse of minus x is equal to minus sine inverse x. But when will it hold good? Only when x belongs to minus 1 to 1. Like this. Read with the conditional thing what is given there within bracket next to the formula. Okay. So now let us hope that you know all these things thoroughly. We will go on to the MCQs now. First sum, sine of cot inverse cot 17 pi by 3 is, and 4 options are given. Always start from the inner bracket. So first you consider cot 17 pi by 3. Now, how can I write cot 17 pi by 3? That can be written as cot of 6 pi minus pi by 3. Before that, let me explain. Cot inverse of cot theta is equal to theta only when that theta lies in the principal value branch 0 to pi. So here I am writing this cot 17 pi by 3 as 6 pi minus pi by 3. Always write in terms of 2 pi there, that is multiples of 2 pi also. That will be easier for you. Now it is 6 pi minus pi by 3 means that comes to 4th quadrant. Cot theta is negative in the 4th quadrant. So you will be getting here minus cot pi by 3. Now I want to write it as cot of something which will be in the principal value branch. So cot pi minus theta is equal to minus cot theta, that is in the 2nd quadrant it is negative, and that will be within the principal value branch also. So I will write this as cot of pi minus pi by 3, right? So that is nothing but cot 2 pi by 3. So this is equal to this. Now let us come to the next bracket, that is you have a cot inverse. Now you have cot 2 pi by 3. Now we can write this is equal to 2 pi by 3 because cot inverse of cot theta is theta when theta belongs to 0 to pi. So now 2 pi by 3 is 1. Now we have a sine here. So the value of sine 2 pi by 3. You can write 2 pi by 3 as sine pi minus pi by 3 because 2nd quadrant sine is positive. So I will be getting this is equal to sine pi by 3, which is root 3 by 2. So the option C is the correct answer. Do you understand? So unless you are clear about the quadrants, where it is positive, where it is negative, and the principal value branches, you won't be able to solve the MCQs. Second sum, sine inverse cos 43 pi by 5 is. Now, let us consider this first. So, cos 43 pi by 5 can be written as cos of 8 pi plus 3 pi by 5. Already I told you the multiple of 2 pi, right? So, 8 pi plus. So, this comes to first quadrant. So, I can write it as cos 3 pi by 5. Now, I have a sine inverse here. So, sine inverse cos 3 pi by 5. Now, when I have a sine inverse outside, I should have sine of something. Then only I can try the formula sine inverse of sine theta is equal to theta when theta belongs to the principal value branch minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So, here I have cos. Now, you remember your basic, the complementary angles, right? That is sine 90 minus theta is equal to cos theta, like that. So, here this cos 3 pi by 5 I will write now sine inverse. I can write this as sine of pi by 2 minus 3 pi by 5, right? Because sine 90 minus theta is cos theta. Let us simplify this. 10 is the LCM. So, I will get 5 pi minus 6 pi. So, it is minus pi by 10. So, I will get sine inverse of sine minus pi by 10. I can write this is equal to minus pi by 10 because this belongs to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So, the answer is minus pi by 10. So, the subdivision D is correct. Is this sum clear to you? Third sum, principal value of cos inverse of cos minus 680 degrees is, and the options are given in terms of pi. That is, this is in terms of radians and that's in terms of degrees. First, I will write cos of minus 680 degrees is equal to cos 680 because cos of minus theta is equal to cos theta since cos theta is positive in the fourth quadrant. That's the first formula I am using. Now, I am going to express this in terms of radians so that easily I will get in terms of pi. So, now you know the relation, that is pi radians is equal to 180 degrees, right? So, now I have to convert this, means I will write it is into pi by 180 so that I will get in terms of radians because the degree, if I want to convert it to radians, into pi by 180. So, 680 into pi by 180. This and this will go. 2 you can cut here, 34. So, I can write this as cos of 34 pi by 9, right? So, now it becomes to the previous model what we did. So, now I can write this as cos of, right, 4 pi minus 2 pi by 9. So, you will get 36 minus 2, 34 pi. Okay. So, now as I told you, multiple of 2 pi. So, it is again like fourth quadrant, 2 pi minus theta like that. Okay. 2n pi minus theta. So, I will be getting in the fourth quadrant cos theta is positive. So, I will be getting cos 2 pi by 9. Now, let us come to the outer one. I have cos inverse of cos 2 pi by 9, that will be equal to 2 pi by 9 because this belongs to the principal value branch of 0 to pi. So, now the subdivision A is the correct answer for this one. Is it clear to you? Now, let us do 2-3 sums in finding the domain, that model. Okay. Now, the domain of sine inverse 2x is, and they have given 4 options. You should know that sine inverse theta, that domain is minus 1 to 1, isn't it? Sine inverse x or whatever is there. Whatever is within that sine inverse, that domain is minus 1 to 1. Here, what do you have? You have a 2x. That means here it is minus 1 lesser than or equal to 2x lesser than or equal to 1. Whatever is inside here, you write that is within that minus 1 to 1. But domain means we should find the x values, that is the range of x we have to find. Where will that x lie? So here x will be here minus half, here plus half. So minus half to plus half. So now your option C is the domain of sine inverse 2x. If you have sine inverse 3x, here you will write 3x. Here that will be minus 1 by 3. Here that will be 1 by 3. Okay, like that you have to do. Now see this sum. Domain of cos inverse x squared minus 4 is. You know, for cos inverse x, the domain will be minus 1 to 1. For sine inverse and cos inverse both, the domain is minus 1 to 1. Here I have within that x squared minus 4, right? So now here it is minus 1 lesser than or equal to 1. First write. Now here is a minus 4. So let us add 4 everywhere. So here I will get 3. Here I will get x squared. Here I will get 5. Right? Now I need x. That is actually I am taking the square root. So here when x squared, here it may be plus or minus root 3. Here it may be plus or minus root 5. I can write like, or here I can write a mod x, because this can be either plus or that can be minus like that. So here I am just writing this plus. Automatically I have to apply both plus and minus. So that means first let me consider like root 3 and root 5. You know, this is the lesser one and this is the greater one. So here root 3 to root 5, that will be one set. And when you consider that minus root 3 and minus root 5, you know, this one is least. So it should come like minus root 5 and minus root 3. So here that x can lie in minus root 5 comma minus root 3, right? Or that is union. Or means union, I have told you. Union, it is root 3 comma root 5. See the proper change. Here this is the lesser one, this is the greater one. Here root 3 to you add, R is union. That means the D subdivision is the correct answer. Here you can put mod, or here you can put plus or minus, both are same only, plus or minus root 3, plus or minus root 5. Anyway, we have to consider both ways, that is both the negatives and both the positives, and then we should have a union, because it may lie on either side, no, like here or there. So this sum you should be clear about, okay. See this sum, a bit different. Domain of f of x is sin inverse x plus cos x. You have two different functions. One inverse trigonometric function and one trigonometric function. Whenever you have two different types, you should see the domain of both and you should find the common domain. That only will be the domain of f of x. Remember that common domain means it should be the intersection of both the domains. Okay. So here, first for sin inverse x, you know the domain of sin inverse x is minus 1 to 1. Then the domain of cos x is R. That is, it is everywhere the domain is cos x. Okay. So here, what will be the intersection of R intersection minus 1 comma 1? R contains this also. So the intersection is nothing but minus 1 to 1. So this is your answer. So whenever you get two different types of functions, please remember, first take the domain of each one separately, then find the intersection, that is the common domain. That should be your answer. Okay, so I think you are clear about these two types. First we did evaluation using the principal value thing, then now three sums in domain. Let us move on to some other model now. Tan inverse x minus cot inverse x is equal to tan inverse 1 by root 3 has no solution, unique solution, infinitely many solution, two solutions. Now let us check. We have tan inverse x minus cot inverse x is equal to tan inverse 1 by root 3. Let us keep this tan inverse x as it is. Let me write this as pi by 2 minus tan inverse x, that is equal to tan inverse 1 by root 3, right? So here I will get, if I remove the bracket, I will be getting 2 tan inverse x, okay, minus pi by 2, that is equal to tan inverse 1 by root 3. So now this 2 tan inverse x, I can write it as tan inverse let us keep the 2 tan inverse x here, okay. Let us take this minus pi by 2 here, and you know this is equal to nothing but pi by 6, isn't it? Tan inverse 1 by root 3 is pi by 6. So pi by 2 plus pi by 6, what will we get now? 6 is the LCM here. So I will get 3 pi plus pi, which will be 2 pi by 3. This 2 and that 2 will go. So I will get tan inverse x is equal to pi by 3. So x is equal to tan pi by 3, which is equal to root 3. So I get only one solution. Okay. So here I can mark this B as the correct answer, unique solution. See this sum. If alpha is equal to, if alpha lesser than or equal to 2 sin inverse x plus cos inverse x, that is lesser than or equal to B, then they have given 4 different options for the values of alpha and beta. Okay. How to start this sum? We know the principal value range, that is for sin inverse x, it is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, correct? So let me start with that. So I will write minus pi by 2 lesser than or equal to sin inverse x lesser than or equal to pi by 2. Okay. Now I am going to add pi by 2 to all the things I will tell. Next step you will understand why I am adding. So here it will become 0. Here I will get sin inverse x plus pi by 2. Here I will get pi by 2 plus pi by 2, which is pi. Okay. Now this pi by 2 I am going to write it as sin inverse x plus cos inverse x. You know sin inverse x plus cos inverse x is pi by 2, because see here I am getting 2 sin inverse x plus cos x, because that is what is given now. For that only I added that pi by 2. So here actually I get 0 lesser than or equal to 2 sin inverse x plus cos inverse x lesser than or equal to pi. Now just compare it. Here in the place of alpha you have 0, in the place of beta you have pi. So alpha is 0 and beta is pi. So the option C is correct. So for this sum we have to start with sin inverse x. Or here even you can know this, you can write it as 1 sin inverse x plus pi by 2. So from that also you can start with sin inverse x and then add pi by 2 and get the answer. Either here itself you can know or from here. Is it clear, this sum? Now this is a different model. Value of sine of 2 sine inverse 0.6 is, and 4 options are given. Actually there are 2 methods to do this sum. I will teach you the easiest one. Okay. First, I am going to convert the 0.6 as a fraction. It is 6 by 10, so 3 by 5. So now I write it sine of 2 sine inverse 3 by 5. Now you view this as sine 2 theta. That is, this total thing you consider in your mind as theta. You know sine 2 theta is equal to 2 sine theta cos theta. So now I will get 2 sine, okay. In the place of theta, I will be getting sine inverse 3 by 5. Okay. Then cos theta. So cos, in the place of theta, I will again have sine inverse 3 by 5. So this is the theta for us. So 2 sine theta cos theta. Okay, yeah. Now, this is sine of sine inverse 3 by 5. That will be equal to 3 by 5. So, this is 2 into 3 by 5. Let us come here. Here you have your cos and here you have your sine inverse. Now, in inverse trigonometry, you should know how to convert one inverse trigonometric function to another one using the triangle concept normally, that is the Pythagoras. So, here just have your triangle. This is sine inverse. So, this is 3, this is 5, this is 4 automatically. So, I can write this as, because it is sine inverse 3 by 5, I can write cos inverse 4 by 5. So, cos of cos inverse 4 by 5 will give you 4 by 5, right? So, now we can just conclude. You will get 2 into 3, 6. So, 24 by 25. But the answers are given in decimal. So, let us multiply by 4. So, 96 by 100, which is 0.96. So, the option D is the correct answer. This is the easiest method than the other one. So, hope it is clear to you now. If x less than 0, y less than 0, such that xy is equal to 1, then tan inverse x plus tan inverse y equals, they have given you 4 options. First, let us write the formula for tan inverse x plus tan inverse y. That is equal to tan inverse x plus y by 1 minus xy, right? Now they have given you xy is equal to 1. So, when this becomes 1, the denominator becomes 0. Then, coming to the numerator, the denominator is 0. X and y both are lesser than 0. That means both are negative. So, x plus y is also negative. So, here I will get some negative thing by 0. This sign is important because if you have a positive by 0, you will get infinity. If you get a negative thing by 0, you will get minus infinity. So, that sign plays a very important part here. So, I will get here, it is tan inverse of minus infinity. So, the answer is minus pi by 2. You know, tan inverse of infinity will be pi by 2. Tan inverse of minus infinity will be minus pi by 2. So, the option B is the correct answer here. So, you have to check all the 3 conditions and then you have to write. Okay. Let us see a different sum now. Cos inverse x plus cos inverse y plus cos inverse z is equal to 3 pi. xy plus yz plus zx is, they have given you 4 options. Here, you know, cos inverse of any function, it will be from 0 to pi only, isn't it? So, the maximum value it can take is only pi. But you have the sum of 3 cosine inverse functions as 3 pi. So, definitely each one should be equal to pi because they cannot exceed pi. Only when the 3 are individually equal to pi, you will add them and you will be getting 3 pi. Is it clear? So, you should have now cos inverse x is equal to pi, cos inverse y is equal to pi and cos inverse z is equal to pi. This is the only option available to make the sum is equal to 3 pi. So, naturally x will be cos pi, that is equal to minus 1. Y will be cos pi minus 1, z is also minus 1. So, now xy becomes plus 1, yz becomes plus 1, zx becomes plus 1. So, when you add, you will be getting 3. So, C is the correct option. So, here first you should know how to decide this because the sum of 3 things is 3 pi and each one cannot be greater than pi. They should be equal to pi to make the sum 3 pi. So, that concept you have to make use and then the rest is easy only. So, now hope you are clear about all the models, all the sums I have taught you now in inverse trigonometry. If you have any other sums as doubts, please come with the sums. In the comment section you can write or you can contact me. I have already told you my WhatsApp number is 98414-24159. If you have any other doubts, don't hesitate. You can write in the comment section. Thanks for watching the video. If you like it, share it with your friends. Thank you again.